What's that?
Watch your level.
Okay, I know I tend to yell. I'm so excited I'm here with Zac Maloy. We're sitting with my friend, producer, writer, artist extraordinaire, Zac Maloy.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
We're in Austin, Texas, South by Southwest. Shows, parties, beer, chicks, married man.
All the above. All the above.
Wife? Just kidding? Just me?
Edit that.
Oh, wait, no, I have a...
Edit that out.
Cut. You obviously started as an artist, like a lot of producer-writers. You came out of a really credible Midwest band and had some success. And so tell me a little bit about how that evolved for you, going from being an artist to now more of a producer-writer.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty natural for me. It wasn't one day, okay, now I'm going to be a writer-producer. It was that the Nixons were phasing out. I wrote some songs with a friend of mine named Jarrett from Bowling for Soup. And honestly, it just felt kind of cool to work with another band. I'd worked with, bands like us. We were 4 dudes that wrote in our garage for 10 years together, So it was just this cool new thing to me to write with some other person. And a couple of those songs made it, did pretty decent, and then all of a sudden I was doing it left and right. Different bands would fly to Tulsa, which they still do. A band just left a couple days ago, and we would write, and then they leave, and maybe my songs make the album, and maybe they don't, but that's what I do.
These are all bands that are signed to labels, or a lot of these are they production deals for things that you like that you want to get signed to a label?
I do that because I really love it, and I think that it will keep me hungry, if that makes sense, because most of them are bands on labels, and I have a publishing deal, and obviously I need to have a certain, I'm just being honest, I have to have a certain amount of songs placed every year, in order to keep my deal. But there's, you know the drill. I mean, there are artists that you see that you just have to work with. You have to help, or at least try to help them, When I was 20 years old, I didn't get in the business so I could be, going to a showcase at South by Southwest, or be speaking on a panel, or that's not, you get into it because you love music. I listen to
that stuff comes
absolutely
with the territory once you're doing it and
right.
active.
But when you're starting, you don't think about it. And so for me to work with artists that aren't signed or aren't even close to being signed, that takes you back to that sort of early stage where it was really just purely about the music.
Let's talk about the Nixons. How did that band come together? How long were you together? And what would you say was your biggest accomplishment as an artist?
All the girls. No. We came together in mid-90s in Norman, Oklahoma. We were in college. And we just started playing. Our story was kind of a classic story back then, at least a bunch of bands I knew. We made an album on our own. We got in a van. We started playing all over the country, spreading slowly out from the Midwest. And we got a song on the radio just by ourselves. And then back then, every A&R guy in the country flew to Tulsa or to Norman to watch us play. And we did a deal, and we had, I always say we were never like a household name, but we sold enough to keep ourselves on the road, for almost 10 years, and we had a blast just being a rock band.
Do you feel that with all of the changes, we know that you can make records at home, we know that you can really use the internet to market your bands. Do you feel that a lot of bands don't necessarily do all of the real world work to support that? Do you feel like there's a lot of bands that are just relying on MySpace or relying on YouTube videos?
Absolutely. But I will say this, that to me, I've had this conversation here at South by Southwest probably 10 times, that it always, for the Nixons, and now sort of my, I think the touchstone for me is being honest in whatever respect it is. If you're doing a showcase down at 5 o'clock in some sterile, place, be honest and be as much yourself as you can be. And so for me, it's like I have a song on the Daughtry album, and there was probably a decent bet before he came out that it wouldn't work, because he was sort of it was an American Idol guy that was going to try to be in a rock band, and how's that going to work? But I firmly believe that it worked for him, because it's really what he is. I mean, what you hear on the records and what you go see at the show, it's really what he is. No one manufactured that. It really, truly is what he is. Like it or not, it is. And to me, it's the same thing if it's Kings of Leon. I mean, that's what they are, So if you can be that, and you're the most indie, sweaty, hair in your face rock band, or you're, you know, Celine Dion. I mean, if that's what you are, be it. And so I do think you don't have to like go through that, what I went through, being in a van for 4 years and like paying your dues, so to speak. A lot of people say that and try to like bait me into saying that that's how it should go. You know, it went that way for us, and for me it seemed like the most credible path and the most honest path. But I think there's all different ways. So maybe the YouTube thing works. You know, maybe doing a video on a treadmill is the way you honestly get your foot in the door.
I recently interviewed Maria Digby, a friend of mine who is on Hollywood Records, who really didn't gain national exposure until she put a cover song, a video of her playing a cover song on YouTube, got 5 million views, and then every video after that got millions of views, and she's become this celebrity, really without ever putting a record out. So it's an interesting platform because you can set the stage, but at some point I think you still need to do the real work that musicians need to do to build their careers.
Well, I mean, I will say this, that like if I go see a band now, I can tell if they've done those hard miles, you know, and done those things that I do feel like are important. But that's the point, like